Hey guys, what's going on? It's Cody Steck. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. We've got another awesome interview here today for you with a new agent over here at Real. She's been here for maybe 2 months now, coming up on a month, 2 months, somewhere in there. And we're going to talk a little bit about her backstory, a little bit about what she's done and how she's continuing to grow her business over here at Real Broker. So we're really excited to jump into this chat here with Juli Jacobson and talk a little bit more about her business. So thanks for coming on here, Julie. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me, Cody. It means a lot.
It's going to be awesome. So I always want to start off with kind of how agents got in the business, because there's going to be a lot of people who are just getting started. Maybe they've done a couple deals, maybe they haven't done any deals, and they're wondering, hey, how do I get started? How do I become a top producer? How do I achieve, business success? Because real estate is such a hard thing. So can you just tell us a little bit about how you got started, how long you've been in the business for, all that stuff?
Sure, absolutely. So 9 years ago, we were getting all of our kids into school. Our boys were starting kindergarten, and my husband looked at me and said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Now that the kids are in school, we actually had a commercial property that was listed with another real estate agent, and we felt like they really weren't selling it. It really wasn't moving. And I was calling that agent asking, what I could do to help. Could I, put an ad in the paper or something for them? And they said, no, we're good. And I said, well, I think I can sell it. So started the process of getting my license, went through all of the real estate schooling, which was brutal, and finally passed the test. And that was 9 years ago. Got my license and listed that commercial property and sold it. So yeah, that was kind of my, my prompt to get into the business. And, I just wanted to sell a couple houses here and there my first year. And, I started to take off, and first year was a little rough, as it is for most real estate agents. You're learning and you're training, and there's so much to learn. And, even 9 years later, I learned something new every day. So, I, was at a boutique agency and then went to Keller Williams. And I was there for about 6 or 8 weeks. And they asked if I would consider being the team leader, fill into the team leader position. And I said, no. I seriously thought Keller was the first name to Williams. I had no idea that they were two separate people. And so they chewed on me a little bit, and I finally stepped in that role, which I absolutely loved. I loved Keller Williams, and I loved their model, and was their team leader for a little bit, and stepped out of that role. Left Keller Williams, went to Coldwell Banker, was their assistant managing director at Coldwell Banker for a little while. And a friend introduced me to Real, they introduced me to EXP first. Stayed at EXP for 4 years. I was an icon agent there for 2 years, and here I am. So I've kind of agency hopped a little bit, but every single move was it really, truly was life-changing. I learned so much, and I'm just grateful to be here right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think one thing that's interesting that I hear from a lot of agents, and for better or worse, it's one of those things where a lot of agents will change brokerages pretty often. That's pretty common in our industry. Even though your own day-to-day business doesn't change, you change brokerages, and that affects how you get your training or how you get paid or what opportunities come about. And there's so many different ways to do it that there's no one size fits all for everybody. But the interesting thing is that I hear from a lot of people who say, every single move I made was beneficial, and it would help me get to that next stage where I was able to continue growing. My business grew, I met different people, and I got to that next level. So regardless of what brokerage you actually go with, a lot of times you do have to try out 2, 3, 4 brokerages to find one that really sticks for you. So I agree with you there. One thing I want to back up on real quick is, and then we'll kind of jump more into what you're doing today. You actually got started with your own commercial property that you sold. And that's a little bit of an interesting situation, because most people get started with like a residential house, and you got started on commercial side, kind of a different animal. Have you done any more commercial, or has it all been residential, or what does that look like for your business today and over the years?
I can do commercial. It is, like you said, it's a completely different beast. I you know, I do residential. That's the majority, the lion's share of my business. I can do commercial. Uh, I'd rather not. I would rather refer it to somebody who really does specialize in commercial or land. Anything that I try to stay in my lane. Yeah, so I'm mainly residential, and that's my sweet spot. I'm perfectly happy just selling houses.
Cool. Oh yeah, it's kind of, again, that's another one thing that's like some people love residential, some people hate residential, some people want to do only commercial or whatever. So there's no one size fits all, which is good.
Right.
Spreads the business around. So
Right.
I I want to know more about like what you're doing today. As far as your business, maybe you can talk about how many deals you're doing, where you're getting your business from. I know you're big on social media, especially TikTok. And Facebook, I'm sure Instagram as well. I know that there's, I assume anyway that you're probably pulling some business off of that. Can you just give us a rundown of what that looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So, 7, 8, 9 years ago, Facebook was the platform. That was where we talked about everything. We talked about what we were having for dinner, talked about what our kids did at school, and that's how I launched my business. Really, I love a saying from Grant Cardone, that if somebody doesn't know you or what you're doing, that's not their fault. It's your fault.
Yeah.
I've never forgotten that, and I always wanted to make sure that everybody knew that I was a real estate agent. There's nothing worse than seeing your neighbor have someone else's sign put in their yard and them saying, "Oh, I didn't know that you were a real estate agent. I'm so sorry." And then you have to say, "Well, you're not. No need for you to be sorry. That's my problem. That was my fault. I should have told you."
Yes.
So, the lion's share of my business came from Facebook. When I first started, 89% of my clientele came from Facebook. And if I couldn't help someone directly, they could refer me to grandma or cousin Bob. They may not be eligible to purchase a home, but cousin Bob is. And so I would, get shout outs on Facebook, and I still do. Of course, social media has exploded in different platforms, and you flatter me in saying that I'm big on TikTok. I have a small following, but I love it. And yes, I do have people reach out to me saying, I'm getting ready to purchase a house. I'm working on my credit now, but I really appreciate your TikToks because I've learned a lot. And, they may be silly and campy and, you know, educational. So at least they're learning something from it and knowing what not to do during, a transaction and purchasing a home. So, and yet today, I've increased my business every single year over the past 8 years. And I've kind of just dived in with Real. I had 4 closings the past 10 days. So my first day with Real was February 1st, and just dived right on in. I don't want to be that statistic that says that you lose 12% of your business after you change brokerages. I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm not going to do that. So yeah, majority of my business now is working with repeat clients and referrals. So
Yeah.
not a whole lot of advertising or marketing, but yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like you said, I mean, early on, 6, 7, 8 years ago, Facebook was like all the rage, and it's kind of transformed over the years to more video, whether that's video on Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, platforms like that have really blown up. The one thing that really stuck out to me, what you said is that, and this is kind of a transition I made in my own business, was you were still connecting with people. It was like talking to them about their dog or about their day or where they work or whatever it might be. You're talking to them about these types of things, and you're building relationships. And I think as early on, or in the sales side of real estate, it's easy to say, oh yeah, I got leads, or I'm calling people or whatever. And it just, I don't know, I kind of made that transition of like, rather than saying I'm working leads, I'm going to say I'm building relationships. And just like that mental shift really goes a long way to actually say, hey, look, this isn't just always thinking about how do I get business, but rather how do I build a relationship? How do I add value to their life? or at least just, ask them how their day is going, and build that relationship with them. And it sounds like that's what you've done, especially through Facebook and these other means. And, now you're at the point where it is 100%, business and relationship based for your business,
Mhm.
right? It's referrals, past clients, stuff like that, people who already know you, like you, and trust you and want to do business. So
Mhm.
that's really cool to hear.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm in a small market, Cody. I think there's maybe 120,000 in the entire Grand Valley here. There's like 60 or 70,000 just in Grand Junction. So absolutely, relationships are so busy, and not just with my clients, but with other real estate agents as well. Word travels fast, and your reputation, it's important. So, but yeah, building relationships with everybody, maybe not just that one particular person that could be a client, but just having a good relationship with them, and have them send you people, have them refer you out. So I
Yeah.
agree, it's super important.
Absolutely. So talking a little bit more about Real, and the fact that you and I are both here at Real Broker, obviously, we both love it. And
Mhm.
it's a brokerage that is, for me has been life changing. I'm sure it has been for you as well so far. And I think it's going to continue down that path. I mean, I've already seen insane benefits, especially from the stock
Mhm.
option program, where there's a lot of additional income, or kind of that retirement plan that's building up that I didn't have to do anything in order to acquire. What have been the things that you are, what you love most about Real, why you made the switch, why it's the right fit for you today? Tell me about that.
I love that it's just starting up. It's just getting started. I love that it's small right now. My broker knows my name.
Yeah.
He answers my phone calls. I love that the stock is low right now. Some people might not understand that, the stock being low right now is really great. It's the time to buy. It's the time to invest.
Yeah.
And I do look at this as an investment. I am not doing anything differently, Cody, than I was doing 7, 8 years ago. Um, I'm still selling houses. I'm still doing, this. I'm going through all the same motions, but oh, by the way, Real is providing all of these benefits with the rev share program, with the stock, and the elite status for for higher producing agents, which was the biggest draw for me. In getting, I could get twice as much back, from our cap. The opportunity to get $24,000 worth of stock back, my gosh, that was just a no brainer to me.
Yeah.
So I love the culture. I love the core values. I love the motto, work hard, but be kind. I mean, what real estate agency says that or actually implements that? It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, that really spoke to me. And, and where I am right now today, that is of the utmost importance to me. So I love it. I'm super happy here.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm in that same boat. I mean, there's so many opportunities. The cool thing about it, even just at a very base level, right? If you can, I'm not here to compare, but if you just look at like what Real has to offer with their split and their cap, I mean, it's so favorable, being 85/15 and a $12,000 cap. That is better, like it or not, that is better for a lot of people. A lot of these big,
It is for me.
yeah, it is for me too, right? Like I'm trying to pay as little as possible in fees and expenses and splits, right?
Right.
But when
Right.
you compare it to like these other brokerages, it's, you can make the argument, oh, well, they offer me this or offer me that. And, I don't know, it comes down to it. Maybe it's right fit for somebody else, but,
Right.
you're paying a lot more for it. And sometimes it's hard to justify.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
it's really
Yeah. And there are agents, Cody, that do find value in that. I know agents that are absolutely in love with their broker, and it doesn't matter, what is offered to them. They're in love with their broker, and that value is there, and they're willing to spend X amount of dollars to hang their license there, and that is great for them. We just want people to be happy. I
yeah,
know I do. If you're happy where you are, then I'm happy for you. So, um, I love that Real doesn't, force attraction. And, I just try to live by example. And, this is what works for me. I love it for me, may not for you, but if you're happy and you are doing what you need to do for your business, then more power to you.
Yeah. Yeah. The cool thing about it too, that came to mind when you were talking about that, is it gives us the opportunity to go out there and just share our honest opinion, our honest experience and how great it's been. And it's like, I want to share that with other agents because I want them to see the same results that I have. I mean, just talking stock options, right? There's different ways to earn
Right.
different just from being with the company. Well, last year, I'll just say, the stock option awards that I received are well into the 5-figure range, from capping out, getting all these bonuses, going through the attraction, hitting elite status, all these different things. That's 5 figures worth of stock that I got for basically just talking about it. Right. And I want other people to be
Right.
able to have that opportunity too, where they can get, 5 figures, maybe even 6 figures one day, which would be awesome.
Mhm.
As just stock options, just for selling real estate and talking about it, so it's one of those things that's really cool that we got to just talk openly about it.
Absolutely. And I experienced that firsthand with EXP. I was at EXP for 4 years and was Icon. And, just seeing those benefits from the stock, especially last year when the market was insane and, we got to cash out high. I'm excited. I kind of beat myself up for not getting in with a company early on. And so that's one of the reasons I was really excited to join Real, because, we are kind of the ground level right now, and just taking advantage of the low stock. And like you said, in a couple of years, it's not an overnight success story. It's going to take time, but planting our seeds now, we're gonna have a lot to harvest in future years. So
Yeah,
I'm excited.
absolutely. I'm excited too. Well, this has been awesome. Anything else you want to share about real estate, about Real Broker, anything?
um, Call one of us, call Cody, call me, call somebody that is with the Real Broker, and just have a cup of coffee with them, talk to them. If you're an agent that just needs some answers to questions, we're here for you, and we're open and candid about our stories and our successes. And I've talked to agents that maybe Real isn't a great fit for them right now, and I suggest another agency for them, and they're happy for that. But
Yeah.
yeah, look us up, give us a call. We're here for you.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. You'll be able to find information to reach us here on YouTube or wherever you're watching this video. There will be some information in the description, or maybe here on screen. We can get it added in to reach out to us, and we'd love to have that chat with you. The cool thing about I'd say almost every agent at Real is we're just going to give you an honest opinion of like, here's how things are. It might be a fit for you, it might not, and we're not afraid to tell you that. And the thing is, we'll help you along the way. There's always something to be learned from myself, from Julie, from any other agent. And it's all about getting that value and figuring out how to grow your own business at the end of the day. So absolutely, by all means, reach out to one of us if you're interested in making a move, or even if you just want some advice or want to talk. We'd be happy to chat with you. So
Perfect.
thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Like I said, reach out, share this video with a friend or a family member who might also be a real estate agent if you know anybody. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks, Cody.